This week, we are examining European imperialism in Africa and the conquest of Africa roughly between 1880 and 1900, 1905. This period in African history is usually referred to as the scramble for Africa. It was called the Scramble because it was the period of an intensive rivalry between the French, the British, the Germans, the Portuguese, who found themselves in a position of competing with each other to conquer as much of Africa as they could and claim that territory as part of their different national empires. It also included Belgium, believe it or not, because even though Belgium was small, it was in effect had the opportunity to operate as a proxy for other European countries that were much stronger, and in the consequence of which Belgium ended up with the Congo as its colony, primarily to keep it from becoming either German or French or Portuguese or British. So that our PowerPoint for this week will examine the whole process of European expansion in this period, beginning most especially with the Berlin Congress of 1884, where European countries met in Berlin and then artificially carved up the continent, claiming different parts of it, of course without consulting at all with any African states, and then proceeded after that to send armies into Africa, and even more especially to recruit Africans into European armies, so that it was most of the soldiers that had actually fought in the wars that subdued the African continent for European powers were subdued by armies that were almost entirely African. And in the context of discussing this, I have chosen to assign as the reading the biography or autobiography, really, of a woman, a Muslim woman, a Hausa woman from northern Nigeria, whose name was Baba, and she was associated with the village, the small town of Cairo, so she's often referred to as Baba of Cairo. And this account was recorded by an anthropologist, Mary Smith, in northern Nigeria in the late 1940s, early 1950s. Now, when Baba was very old and was recounting what her youth was like and what the impact of the British conquest of her area was like, and the conditions before that and the conditions after. And it's a wonderful account by this amazing woman. She was the daughter of a person who owned, her father owned quite a few slaves, operated a plantation near the city of Zaria, which is one of the important cities in northern Nigeria, both in the pre-colonial period and also in the colonial period. So I'm going to use her account and a discussion of her account as a way of looking at the context of one part of the European expansion into Africa.